am giving away this awesome book today. Have you guys heard of Jenna Hatmaker?
No.
She's really cool. She is, she wrote this book. She's a Christian, I don't know what her role is, but it's a funny book. It's like a personal development. I would consider it a personal development book. It has to do with just having more grace in your life. So it's one of those books that you kind of pay it forward. So inside, for those, whoever wins it, because I'll do a drawing at the end, it was originally written to one of my friends, Wendy. And she says, I want you to read this and I want you to pass it along. It's kind of one of those pay it forward. So when you get it, you'll be like, Wendy? Why does it say Wendy? And do it with what you will. You don't have to pass it along. You can keep it. I don't care. But just letting you know, it's one of those books that I planned on paying it forward. So this is how I'm going to do it. And it is a laugh out loud book that, because it relates to like funny things that happens in our lives as parents and as women in general, and just dealing with, you know, all of the issues with comparison and all that kind of stuff. That is, anyway, so this is the book. That's the book I'm giving away. In the other group that I'm, the Unleash Your Inner Superwoman, this is the book I'm giving away. You can see it, Jennifer Fulweiler. I already shared that. So, but anyway, this is the one I'm giving away today. So today's gonna be super casual because I just want to kind of catch up and do some celebration kind of stuff and build upon what you've already sort of established for yourself. So that's kind of the goal for today. And then kind of follow up if you've created a passion list, and where to go to with that. So anyone have any cool celebrations? Either of you have any great celebrations going on? Doesn't have to be huge. When I say great, it doesn't have to be something massive. It can be something small that you've accomplished, or that you feel really good about. You're feeling positive.
I'm still writing down the thankfulness every couple nights.
Awesome.
I'm thankful for the day, and I'm feeling better for a little bit longer.
That's awesome. So every couple of nights you said you do it?
Yeah.
All right, good.
About every other night.
Good. It's a good pattern. It's a good thing to get yourself into, because it's these type of activities that help change our mindsets to a positive mindset, or helps us focus. It changes our train of thought. So that's a good thing. So that's definitely something to celebrate. Good job. How are you feeling in general with everything, with your surgery and everything? I haven't chatted.
Up and down.
Yeah.
I've had quite a few down days.
Yeah. So those would be the days to definitely make sure that you do your journal.
Yes.
You know, that would be the specific day to do that. So, see, the biggest thing is to be able to celebrate on bad days too. Good.
I am ready.
Brush your hair. Yeah, go. Get. Mute.
Is she getting ready for the early mornings?
Yeah, she's got a counseling appointment at 10:15.
Gotcha. You got to get up and at 'em. Well, Monday's the day back to school.
Woo-hoo.
I know. So yeah, so being able to do those on your difficult days is going to be, so if anything, make sure you do your grateful journal on those days where you had a horrible day, so that you can reframe your thinking.
Yeah.
That will help a lot. So good job. That's awesome. All right, Jen, how about you?
Well, my kids go to school on Monday. I'm not excited about it, but they are.
They're excited. I love it.
Yeah, they are. I'm not. We actually had Alex's high school orientation yesterday, so that was weird. To have two in high school now is weird.
I bet.
But it's good. It's good. So I'm still working on like trying to figure out people at work, how to deal with that kind of stuff. I think we've hit our wall, and there's going to be a conversation this week with HR. It should be good after that, like just the atmosphere at work. So That'll be good. And just trying to get my passion list together.
Awesome. Awesome. So what do you mean hit the wall at work? What do you mean by that?
I'm told my boss I'm done with them. And it's just taking too much time away from what's important at work. And I'm done with it. So it's going to be a conversation like, this is it. It stops now. So it'll be good.
Okay. Is it broke? I'm sorry. Hold on. Did it break?
I don't know.
Okay. Can you put a cartoon on for him, please? Thank you. Anyway. Okay. So you've kind of hit a wall with that. Is this just with your boss or is it with everyone in the environment? Because I know you've been trying to practice some more patience and listening and things like that. Tell me more about that.
So it's like every day there's a thing. If it's peaceful, there has to be a drama created.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's tattling. People who are older than me are tattling on each other.
Okay.
So I told my boss, I said, I can't do this anymore. It's a conversation time. So we're going to meet me, myself, my boss, the couple of people that are causing the trouble, and HR.
Okay.
So we can't meet until Wednesday because we've all got weird schedules going on. So, but Wednesday is the day. And until then, I'm just kind of saying I don't want to hear, unless it relates to a patient, I don't want to hear it.
Right. So you've been interrupted by a lot of people telling on each other for various reasons. So they have a need that they're trying to get met by doing this. I don't know what that need is, obviously. And hopefully they'll be able to identify that, that tattling is not the way to get that need met. And maybe you can get to the bottom of that. If you can kind of, obviously your boss might lead the conversation. I don't know. But if you guys can get to the bottom of what is the purpose behind this and then find how to get that need met, because this is not productive for anybody, and I think you obviously recognize that. And that maybe that'd be the strategy your boss can go with it is like, what is missing here that you need to be able to do this? Whatever it is, it'll be interesting. So keep me posted on that. So as far as working with your the other people at your environment, the people that you, I love it. Or I'll unmute you. I just muted you for a minute.
Well, for her, but our staff spent the summer reading a certain amount of chapters, and then we all came back and talked about it, trying to build the morale into a more positive place.
That'd be cool
and focusing on this instead of all the tattletaling and chaos going on, since we've got some new administration, and it's really helped.
Let me write down that.
I don't know if that would help her or not.
What's the name of that book?
Yeah.
The five languages of appreciation
in the workplace. Okay.
Cool.
And it's Gary Chapman. He also wrote the 5 love languages.
Right.
And it's the same languages. It's just making it fit in the work environment. So maybe somebody needs more quality time, maybe coffee talk or lunch hour, or maybe somebody needs acts of service. Maybe you can help them with a project they're working on and help them get it done.
I like that because I think, it kind of goes along with whatever those individuals are tattling on. There's something that's not being fulfilled, and
I feel like
that it goes along with what you're saying,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. They're not getting some need met, and this is how they're communicating it, even though they may not realize what need they're not getting. That could be helpful.
Interesting. So I know, Nicole, you guys have been doing this book study for a while, and in the beginning you were like, I like the book, but I don't know if it's helping anyone. Do you feel like it's starting to help your environment?
Yeah, I think so. And helping me to trust when others want to do something for me too.
Got it.
Letting that happen. Yeah.
Letting people help you.
Yes.
I love it.
I've gotten a very big lesson on that in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, you've been forced to, right? That's God's
Yes.
way of saying, you know what? This is what you need. You need to learn how to take people's help because we all need it, right? And you also think about how
Yes.
much do you like to help others? I think all three of us are in the helping profession. We love to
Oh, yeah,
help
I know how
others.
to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know how to do that. We all know how to do that. So accepting it, you have to recognize that that's giving other people a gift too, because people like to help when you know what I mean? And so kind of think of it that you're giving them a gift by allowing them to help you is my point. So
Right.
good for you. That's awesome. All right. So, so you've got that meeting Wednesday, Jen, and how are you feeling about it? What's your mindset with that? I know you've like fed up, but let's, what do you need, honey?
With good reason.
Yes, with definitely good reason, absolutely. But we want to figure out how to reframe it so that you can refocus your energy on what you need to focus your energy on in the next, especially a couple
Right.
before that
I
meeting.
mean, I think that's just what I want to bring to it. It's like helping them understand, like we, at least I believe, we are guests, and because I'm at a nursing home, people live there. It's their home. We're just guests there. We're in their atmosphere, and we are tainting their atmosphere. And so, you know, all of the things that are going on, it's taking away from that priority. And that's all I want to bring it back to is what we're there for. And it's to help the residents with their, you know, activities of daily living, giving them quality of life, dignity, and, you know, all of these things that are being lost in the shuffle with all of the crap.
Right.
I just want to bring it back to that.
Absolutely, and I
Good for
love
you.
that perspective. I think that's perfect and helping everyone understand the why of being there. Everyone is in that profession to help others, and that I think it's good to remind them this is where these individuals live. You know, we're helping provide a service. Do you want to take her for a walk, Ava?
Done.
11-year-old woes. It's too early in the morning. I've been up for like 4 hours.
I've been up
She just woke up. Anyway, no, I love that. So how can you effectively communicate that to your staff is what I want to, because I think ultimately this has been an ongoing issue for a long time, like helping people really get to the heart of why they're there and serving in a way that's with integrity, right? I mean, I think ultimately that's about people. And I think also, you know, you're also going through a process of learning how people communicate and how they interact and how, you know, kind of like those love languages that Nicole was just talking about. But at the end of the day, you want to be able to convey this to everyone because you're working on a cultural change in your environment, that this is why we're here. And so
Change the focus.
yeah, how do you change that focus is the big question. And I know you've done a lot of praying on it and kind of thinking about it, and we've talked about it a lot. And do you have any thoughts on the matter of what are some of those shifts that you can kind of focus on that energy for everybody?
I think for one, I need to role model it a little better and not allow things to like taint that. Like as soon as they come up to me with something, I've just decided that it's kind of like, is it about a patient? Is my patient safe? Does my patient need something? Otherwise, I don't want to hear about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like bringing it back to that, what is refocus? What's your purpose here?
I like that.
Like just
down before it happens.
yeah, just reminding, and like even myself, like being careful what I say when I'm at the, you know, at the table assisting someone with mealtime, like being careful what I'm talking about, being careful to make sure that all of my patients are part of the conversation, even though I could be talking to a coworker, but including them in the conversation, just letting, like role modeling that, letting my staff know, like this is about them.
Yeah,
As opposed to us having a conversation about, you know, our kids or whatever.
absolutely. What about
Um,
staff morale? What do you think, where do you think everyone's morale is at?
I would say like it depends on the person, and if it's like I think there are some who have a really good morale, and I think then like the couple that are like really just at each other all the time, like I would say that their morale is down, and it kind of, and depending on who's there that day, it'll bring down the atmosphere. But the nurses and I, like we've had conversations like how we're typically pretty positive, optimistic people, and so like we've just talked about how it can be like so weighing on us when the couple of the people are really negative, and we just talked about how important it is that we don't let that affect like our perspective and our outlook, and how we need to like just let that bounce off of us, like their negativity bounce off of us, and just keep that positive outlook regardless of what's going on with them and what trauma they're bringing to the table today. You know, so in terms of that, like the nurses and I are pretty much on the same page with that, so which is good.
Ooh, okay, so it's not the nurses you're having the issue with, or is it just some of the nurses?
No nurses.
All the nurses are good.
Fabulous.
Who are the people then?
It's the aides, the nurses' aides who are assisting us. Yeah.
Okay, so this is just for ignorance on my end. What is the difference between, what do the nurses' aides do? Not difference, what do the nurses do?
So the nurses are the supervisors.
Okay,
The aides work under our license, which is why I am always in such an uproar about them. Because if they do something stupid, it affects my license. It could be cost me my livelihood
got
because
it.
they're under me. So that's why I'm so particular about them.
Sure.
But they do, like nurses do all of the assessments and the medication and treatments and things like that, and just make sure that the patients are safe and all of that. And then the aides come in and they kind of do all of the activities of daily living, like toileting,
Okay,
repositioning, making sure everyone's had their breakfast, like all of that kind of stuff. Even though we're going behind them, kind of checking it out, making sure everything's good, they're doing all of the other things that we're not doing.
do they have degrees in nursing or anything?
No, they just have a certificate. It's like a 3-week course.
So there is a difference. Do you guys have like meetings or staff meetings or where you're all together going over things?
I've tried to have them,
Okay,
and I've talked to the director of nursing, my immediate supervisor, and she's on board with them, but she feels like nobody comes to the meetings. And I told her, I'm like, we just have to make it a priority, because communication, people have to know what's going on. And if I can't communicate that expectation,
well, that's what I'm saying is
they're never going to understand what their purpose is.
exactly.
So I'm trying to like get that, and like where we have like a huddle once a day, because they'll like trickle in, and the problem is like they'll trickle in, they never come, like they're never on time, like 5 minutes late. Like there are some who show up like 5 minutes early and they get right to work, so they're already down the hall when the other people trickle in. And I'm not a repeater. I don't want to have to repeat myself 4 or 5 times. It wastes my time. So I try not to do it. So like I would like something like at the beginning of the shift, like, hey, A, B, and C is going on. This is what's happening with your patients. You know, this is my expectation for you today. I want you to do this, or this is what's important. This is a priority, you know, all those things. But I can't really communicate that because of the trickle. And then I get to my duties.
That'd be a lot of time out of your, I'm just throwing out ideas out here to help with the morale and the getting that why out there with, you know, we're here because these people need us, but at the end of the day, this is your home. You know, if there was a way to be able to communicate that even on a monthly basis, or I don't know, like, again, I'm in a school mindset. We're so different than where yours is, but being able to do something to help calibrate their mindset about work, and their morale about work, getting excited about being there, you know, I don't know. So I'm just kind of like,
Yeah.
That's a tough position you're in. The trickle is hard because you're not going to spend your whole day doing that. That's ridiculous.
Mhm.
But being able to send a message, I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
So
I'm trying to figure out the time because, you know, like past that, then you've got, I said, let's do it at 10. Then it's like everybody's doing whatever everybody's doing, which yeah, but like, hey, 5 minutes, relax for 5 minutes and let's chat.
right.
The stuff's still going to be done in 5 minutes. And 5 minutes isn't going to put you behind. That's how much time you spend gossiping in the
Now,
hallway.
you know what does help? Food. If you got a bunch of donuts or, you know, we're going to have a little donut and coffee break here. I don't know.
Muffins.
Food always attracts my teachers.
Panero will deliver bagels.
There you go.
Bagels
Yeah,
and cream
I
cheese.
thought about that, and then like I don't know. It's hard to really
It's a baby step. It's a start.
yeah. I just gotta like get everybody. Yeah, I could probably do, but I've got people. Somebody just had a surgery, like the band surgery, so she can't eat like whatever, and it's
And
like
all the donuts.
yeah. So I don't want to like get something that someone can't eat because I've thought about that. Like, let me bring donuts. And of course, like if I say, "Oh, there's donuts in my office," I brought donuts one time and nobody ate them.
Oh gosh, and then they're sitting in your office. Doesn't help your health and fitness business.
I'll tell you,
No,
try.
it doesn't. But you know, I can't have them out on the unit because it's against regulation.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, that's another thing. But yeah, like just I don't know, like figuring it. I feel like it's something that needs to be communicated daily at the start, just to keep them on the same like, just keep them on the same mindset and rework all of those pathways that they've got going on now. Like I feel like that needs to be something that needs to be said every single day.
Absolutely.
Like maybe posting it, like making like a poster, like or like close to where we're working at or whatever, if that would help. But
Or even like if there's a whiteboard and putting up a different quote with the same expectation, now different quote every day or once a week or something, just so people take a glance at it and then it's a reminder. You know, I do that in the office. I'll try to switch the quotes up. Oh, you're heading out, aren't you, Nicole? You're a rock star, multitasking. But in my office, I'll try to remember to do different quotes in my office, which helps me too. It's not really much for kids, but you know, just a thought.
yeah, I go to my office, but no one ever goes in my office except for me. I think they feel like it's off limits. I don't know. My door's always open.
Yeah.
I'm having lunch or whatever, and then I close my door. But
Yeah. So,
yeah.
well,
Yeah.
just some ideas. So good. I'm glad you're good because you are constantly challenging yourself and thinking about new ideas. You're creating a place of integrity, and also recognize that even though sometimes it feels like you're not making any headway, or you're impacting people. You know, even by just modeling that behavior. So even though you're up against some challenges, recognize your strengths in it. I mean, you're a hard worker clearly, and you work with integrity. So that's a big strength, and more people recognize it than you realize. You're not going to affect everybody, unfortunately. That's just the way life is. You know,
Right.
Always, even if you do all the things, there's always going to be a worker or two that they're just going for the paycheck.
Right.
Hey, but we go check on Cole. I hear him screaming. Hey, but go check. I have my husband and one of my sons are off mowing lawns. So, you know, anyway, you know how it is. Okay, so Nicole, let's get on you for a minute. You're taking Jen to therapy, it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good.
You're good. Okay. So let me just ask this general question, then I'll have you start, Nicole. I want to talk about stepping into the person you want to be, and I'm not talking about changing who you are. I'm talking about showing up as your best self. And I want to kind of go in different categories and talk about what it would look like, feel like, sound like, and how much of it you're already doing. So the categories I'm talking about are family, self-care, and like spiritual. So let's start with family. If you were to step into that best self person, as far as when you're at your best, what does that look like? And what is it, what is it like, and how much of it are you showing up as right now? If you don't want to share right now, Nicole, that's fine. I can start with Jen. It's up to you. I think Nicole's frozen, or else they're really good at sitting still, not blinking.
It's quite a talent.
Start doing the mannequin challenge. All right, we'll start with you, Jennifer, because anyway. All right, so best self with family. Let's start with that. First of all, tell me how things are going family life. Where do you feel like you're at with that? And then we'll talk about what does that best self look like.
Okay, so it's okay.
Okay.
Things are okay. There's a little bit of stress just with like income and that kind of stuff, but it's, it is what it is and we're working through it. I did on Tuesday, on Monday night and Tuesday morning, I like really, really laid into my kids because they were kind of bad mouthing me and my husband, and I overheard them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of let them know, like, hey, you have no idea. I said, you can't judge us until you've walked a mile in our shoes,
Right.
And so then something happened the next day on Tuesday before we went to the mall, and I let them have it again. But I think just sometimes they need that. But I think I could have been more graceful. Yeah. I think I could have been more graceful with it than I was. So I think that's really like key. Like I know I talked about that before, like being graceful or flexible.
Okay.
So like for me, I feel like that's what my best self would be with my family.
Okay.
And how much do I show up like that? Probably not enough. Maybe 1 to 2 times a week. Need to really work on that.
Okay. All right. So, but also recognize sometimes we got to lay into our kids. Don't beat yourself up. We have to. They have to know that respect and all that kind of stuff because we do the same thing. And sometimes you feel bad about it. Then you're like, gotta happen. What else are you gonna do? So what would it take for you to increase the likelihood of your flexibility and being graceful in those family situations? What would it take for you to bump it from 1 to 2 times a week to 2 to 3 times per week?
I think I'm still working on the transition thing.
Okay, perfect.
And with school starting, I think that transition time is going to get a little janky just because, I go straight from work to pick up everyone. And then as soon as they get in the car, it's all what's for dinner and all the things. And I'm like, I'm still in my work clothes.
How much time do you have between work and school? How much time in the car?
So it's going to be a little different this year because pickup times changed for my youngest son. But it's usually 30 to 30 minutes. It was 30. Now I think it's going to be more 45 minutes to an hour, which is, it's hard to explain. It's a whole thing, but regardless. So it's an hour in between. I will stay at work until I have to go pick Andrew up whenever I leave. And then, grab him and go home. And then the other kids, I haven't figured that out yet because they're in a completely different spot. We're still working the details out. But there's that hour in between. But it's and sometimes I call my husband and during that hour, just go over the day and just chit chat and that kind of stuff. So it's not really, and I really like that. I like to touch base with him afterwards, how my day went, that kind of stuff. So I don't want to get rid of that, but sometimes at the same time, I'm maybe I just really need that quiet.
That is a good, that hour, even though it's kind of it's a long time, that's an opportunity for you to kind of make that transition so that you can shut down that part of your day and restart and start your next part of your day. So you're not burnt when you get home or you're already burnt out and you don't have anything left in the tank for the kids and the family. You want to be able to refuel somehow. So Maybe part of it is that conversation with your husband, and I think that's totally okay. You have plenty of time, but cut it short. And then you need to, sometimes you need that time to yourself to just like breathe. Okay, moving forward, maybe you pop at a podcast or something that's going to help. You want to add gas to the tank is what you're trying to do. You want to add gas. You've been depleted by the end of the day, and you want to figure out ways that's going to fill it. So that's something to think about, and I think that will help a lot. So kind of maybe journal on it tonight. Think of some different ways that you think is going to work for you. It's all personal to you. For me, silence is helpful, or a podcast. I usually call my husband too, but usually it's like a 5-minute, thing. But I don't have an hour. I have like 15 minutes, so I don't have as much time. So think about that. I think that would be helpful. And like you said, with going back to school, you have to kind of re-challenge your normal again. It's the same with us. At the end of every school year, at the start of every school year, we have to kind of, okay, what's our new normal? Let's get into it. What's going to work for us? What's going to make us all feel good?
Right.
It can be tricky. So, Nicole, how about you? Since you were Frozen, I moved on to Jennifer. We were like, oh, they're either really good mannequins Frozen there, because we just saw Frozen.
Yeah, we hit about.
Or
Yeah, we're going through town towards Lansing.
Gotcha.
For the family, but being thoughtful and being validating and listening.
Thoughtful, validating, and listening.
Because that seems to be pretty useful for everybody.
That is a useful thing. How often do you feel like you're showing up as that person in your family?
As needed.
Pretty good. So it's going, your family piece, I know has been going pretty well lately. You feel like it's in a good
Yes.
space. Awesome. I love it. So to continue showing up like that, even on those hard days when you're physically limited because of the surgery you got and stuff, is that more difficult, or are you still doing okay with that?
It's difficult, but still doing okay.
Okay.
I still am thinking of those 3 things each time.
Okay.
So I can still feel crappy and still do those things.
How about doing those things towards yourself?
Yes. Trying.
Because I think that's just as important as doing it for Jen, right? And
Yes.
your other daughter, but being able to be thoughtful and validating to yourself, like, I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing well most of the time. I am, and recognizing, like, when you're doing that gratitude, that's also a good time to recognize the good things that you've done. Like, patting yourself on the back is okay. You know what I mean? And that's gonna pat yourself on the back.
It's kind of like it's trickling down. Like
Mhm.
all these things to use with everybody else is trickling down to myself.
Yes. So it's good to recognize that. And that, because I think sometimes we often, I'm not saying you, just we as people in general, often rely on other people's validations to be able to feel good about stuff. And we need to recognize our own validations because, our kids aren't going to give us that all the time, right, Jen? Sometimes that doesn't happen.
I mean, that depends if I'm really involved in a video or something on my computer. I'll validate her when I hear her, but when I don't hear her, I'll validate her as soon as I realize it.
Aw. Good. Okay, good. You're in a good place with that. All right, let's talk about self-care. Nicole, start with you on self-care. How are you doing with that? You're limited right now, but
After surgery was low because I couldn't really do anything other than take pain meds and sleep. And then and stuff because Cynthia from my LTL group brought food last night, and Evan from church brought food last night. So that's really helpful.
Oh,
that
good.
way we have things we can just warm up because I can use the microwave and get the plate to the table by myself if I have to.
Right, but you're not cooking meals or anything.
No, I can't. It's just too much, and I still got to keep my foot up.
Yeah. So self-care is going to look different now than it was pre-surgery. So
Very much so.
Yeah.
But I might add as a nurse that all of those things you're doing is self-care.
Thank
Okay.
you. It's
Those
hard
are
for me.
all self-care things that you need to be doing right now. So you are doing things.
I'm getting a crash
Absolutely.
course in learning to ask for help because I don't do it. I just would rather do it myself or figure out a way.
Otherwise, I'm a stubborn,
Yeah.
which I get that from you.
Yes. I think, and I agree with Jennifer, is that that's all self-care, and asking for help is self-care. You know, it's sometimes
Humbling.
about 10 or 15, babe. So part of it is recognizing that, because I can sometimes be that way too. Like, I just want to do it myself because I know what to expect. I know how it's going to be done. But and that's part of trust building too. I think that it ties hand in hand by, oh, they're frozen again. I don't know if they can hear us or not, but trust goes hand in hand with allowing people to help you, that you're trusting them to. Did you hear anything I said, Nicole? Or did you completely freeze out? Oh shoot, I can't.
I can hear it all. I can hear it all.
You heard it all, okay. But allowing people to help you goes along with trust and building
hear you.
trust. So that's a big thing. And then part of that self-care also that you're doing is the journaling. So I think you are showing up for yourself right now. You're journaling at night,
I
you're
feel
giving
like it.
gratitude, you're asking for help, you're listening to your physical needs right now. What else are you doing? I know you're doing other things. Are you reading or doing anything personal development wise? Since you're sitting, you have more time.
I feel like just reading your posts.
I didn't hear what you said.
Reading what you're posting on Facebook.
Hold on one moment. I gotta. Here, Brady. No, you need to turn that off. Here, go, babe. Okay, go in the other room. Bye-bye. I'll be out in a little bit. So those are all self-care. So that's awesome. So you're doing good. So family and self-care are pretty good for you right now. And how about you, Jennifer? How you doing with your self-care?
I'm doing all right. I think I'm doing morning meltdown.
Good.
Which
You like it?
feel a certain type of way about it, but it's not what I'm used to. I'm like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna finish the program, even though it's not. Thus far, it hasn't really been my cup of tea, but I think it's getting there.
Yeah.
Maybe just getting used to the difference in the program. But I know my nutrition is like kind of hit or miss. So I do need to work on that. But other than that, though, I think like taking the time to realize like I do need more sleep, so that laundry can wait or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that transition time we were talking about before is going to be a big self-care transition. Like that could be a serious game changer for you if done properly for yourself, because I mean, one way we can look at it, like I said before, the hour can be daunting of like, oh, I've got this commute or whatever, 45 minutes, whatever it is, but also reframing it to this is an opportunity for me to really refuel the tank, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that period will be really good for you. And then spirituality. Let's talk about spirituality. Where do you want to show up as who you want to be spiritually, and wherever you are with your relationship with God or your higher, what would that look like, and where are you at with that? Either of you can start, doesn't matter.
So for me, like we're starting our church. My home church is starting a new church in Canton, which is really nice because it's like 20 minutes from me, which before church was in Detroit, so it was a little bit of a farther drive.
Yeah.
And Canton is the city like my kids go to school in. Well, they used to all go there, but now just one goes. The other one's going in Harbor. But So like it's a city I'm used to, like it's a city I kind of know. I'm really enjoying like that and just the burden that God has put on my heart for that city, like in the recent couple of weeks.
Mhm.
I'm able to be used. I'm singing like a worship leader there. Like there's opportunities for my kids to get involved in.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I just feel like that's a good thing. And we had an outreach last week, and I was able to connect with one person in the park, and that was really awesome. So just like being able to see that I'm being used in some ways.
Awesome. It sounds like you're feeling good about that.
Yeah.
Good.
Did I forget to turn?
Are you lost, Nicole?
I mean, we're right behind my old school in here, so we don't know. I haven't been in this area for a long time, and I'm glad for it.
Oh, I just drove too far, that's all.
Are you distracted, Nicole?
Yeah, very.
Can I ask you a question, or are you too distracted?
No, you can ask.
All right, since watching the movie The Shack, now it's been over a month or so. Tell me where you're at spiritually.
You know, I still think about that. I still think about keep your eyes on me. That really made a big impact. And
Good.
even through the surgery, I've thought about that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's something that I'll go back and watch again here pretty soon. I think before I go back to school.
Yeah, I highly recommend the book too, because you can go back and I'm finished. I'm on the last chapter. It's taken me a while because I've been reading it slowly because there's so much packed into it.
Yeah, it's fun.
So good. I'm glad that eyes on you, eyes on me, stuck with you, because really it's just small little changes in how we perceive things, because really how our perceptions can fuel our emotional attachment to things. So whatever you perceptions that were given to you as a child or as you grew up or through experiences, that has fueled your relationship or your emotional attachment or whatever you want to call it to God or Jesus or whatever you want to, however you ever identified it. And so shifting those perceptions changes everything. So just a small shift in a different direction can change your emotional reaction to those things. So it's important to consistently challenge ourselves in that way so that we can keep that shift going. So awesome.
Well,
Awesome.
The other part of that movie was when they were walking on water together. That's really stood out as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my asking for help when I needed it and trusting.
Trusting. So it's made an impact because you have had to ask for help. What's that?
What did you say?
I said it's impacted you because you've had to ask for help, you know?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, didn't have much of a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I didn't have a choice, but the effective thing would be I asked for help.
Mm-hmm. Right. But hey, it's good. It's a good thing. So good. I'm glad. All right, I'm going to do a drawing for the book. I almost forgot about it, and I was like, oh. So I wrote both of your names on a piece of paper. You want to pick them out, Ava?
Go, Ava, go.
Come on over here. She's being a lazy bum. All right, I'm putting it in my empty coffee cup. That's no coffee left. All right.
I can't.
Who is going to win? Genuine. I'll mail you the book. You get the book. Woo! So Jennifer, send me your address, and I'll mail it to you.
Okay.
You'll like it. It's a funny book. It's good.
Awesome.
So thanks for hopping on, ladies. So I will touch base with you. I'm not going to have a call this upcoming week, and then I'm going to schedule all the calls for September. So I'll be looking for that. But I'll be posting this week. So Jennifer, you're focusing on transition and that transition period. And Nicole is continuing to focus on asking for help, being patient with herself, and continuing to work on the gratitude journal. So awesome. All right, I get to go help my sister move all day.
Sounds fun.
All right, thanks for hopping on. I'll see you girls later.
All right,
Bye.
bye. Have a good day.
Bye.